friends, it's Kelly here with Kerr Crafts. Don't mind my voice, I'm still trying to get over to this sinus infection, bronchial infection, whatever they're calling it. But all my tests came back negative. I have no COVID, not the flu, and no strep throat. So those were the three things they tested for, and then they did a rapid COVID in the office. It was negative, and then they did do a send-off, and they called yesterday and said that was negative, so it's not COVID or anything, so thank goodness for that. I'm very happy. Alright, so I thought today I would bring to you, we've got Christmas coming right around the corner. You might need a quick gift, might need a quick little stocking stuffer or something, and you're racking your brain and you're thinking, man, if I just have one more little thing I need. Well, or maybe you just want to give something to the neighbors and you just want something, you know, really quick and simple, or to friends, family, you know, whoever. So I made up these hot cocoa packets, okay? Now, Crafty Crafts by Deanna, Miss Deanna, she did some over on her channel, and she uses a die, and this requires no die because there are no machines. We're back on that again, and so I thought, you know what, I'm gonna make one real quick and see, and this is how mine turned out, and it seems pretty fairly similar to the die. So yeah, I just made a couple of those, and now I didn't put all the stuff in mine that she did, but I will link all of her videos. I think there's 2 videos. I think there's one where she puts these together with the die, and then in the second part she shows you what she puts in them. Now she puts a lot more in hers. Now I'm gonna put a few more things in here, but I just haven't got to the store yet. I had to wait till I got a phone call. I was supposed to stay quarantined until my send-off test came back, and now I can go to the store. And it was later in the afternoon when she called yesterday, and Saturday late afternoons really gets busy at our grocery stores. So I said, I'll just wait until, you know, today while they're all in church, I'll run to the grocery store. But yeah, now, the Santa here, this was a G. Kerr. If you follow her on YouTube, you'll know who she is. She had a freebie Friday if you belong to her Facebook group, and you can, you know, download it and then cut it out and do whatever. So I just kind of put a little Santa poking over there. And then it says ho 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 and a cup of cocoa. And just kind of made it look Santa-y. And then this one's just kind of plain. Now you put ribbons and decorate them up as much as you want, but I'm figuring these are kind of going to be more like a throwaway type item. But it doesn't take a whole lot of paper, so well, let's get started and you'll see. Okay, so first off, you are going to need one sheet of 8.5 by 11 of your color choice, whatever you want. This is 110-pound cardstock. You can use whatever you want. It, you know, doesn't really matter what you use, but mine's the 110. This is the Pen and Gear from Walmart, a big stack. So you have your 8.5 by 11, and we need to cut this 8.5 by 7.5. So, put your 11.5 inch side in. If you cut it this way, you only need one sheet. And then you're just going to put that 11-inch side in, put it in, and cut it at 7.5. And hold on to this. Don't throw this away or anything. Set it aside because you're going to use it. We'll take this. Alright. Get our scoreboard out. I'm going to do some scoring. If you don't have a scoreboard, get yourself a ruler and something to, you know, score over alongside with. The empty ballpoint pen is what I used to use back in the day. Alright, so what we are going to do on 3 sides, we're going to score at 1/2 inch. We're going to score at 1 inch and at 1 1/2 inch. I'm just going to rotate this now to the 7.5 inch side, and I'm going to score again at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, and 1 1/2. I'm going to rotate that again to back onto my 8.5 inch side, and I'm going to score the same thing again. 1/2, 1 inch, 1 1/2 inches. Okay, so it should look like this. So you should have 3 sides that have the score marks on it, and the top part that doesn't. Now you'll need your scissors. Okay, this is really easy and simple. On the score lines, you have this little corner down here, and it kind of looks like a grid. There's 9 blocks. You're going to cut those out. You don't need them. Oh, we forgot a score line. Let's do that real quick first. I forgot that score line. Okay, with your top part that you didn't score, put that up in your scoreboard. Measure down to 2.5 inch. Go down 2.5 inches, and just mark to that very last score line. You go, there's your first score line, and then your second, and your third. I'm sorry, 3 score lines. Go over up to the very last score line. Okay, and that's on the 7.25 inch side, or 7.5 inch side. I'm sorry. Now I'm just going to pick this up and just flip this over. These lines don't matter if the bumps are in the right spot when you fold it. So 2.5. So we're going to flip this over and 2.5. This is just going to be a cutting guide for us. We're not going to be folding on them. Okay, so back to where our little grid is. You see, like, you have 3, 3, and 3. You're going to cut that completely out. I don't like these scissors. And if your edge isn't that neat, don't worry about that. We're gonna clean that up here in a minute. And I'm gonna go on the other side where that little grid looking thing is on the corner. I'm gonna cut that one out. Now up here where we have that score line, where we marked that 2.5 inch score line, I'm gonna cut mine. If you look at your score line, it kind of has like almost 2 little lines with a dip in the middle. I'm going to cut closest and cut that score line off. And cut down. And you're cut up to that last score line. Turn it towards you and then cut down that long side. And cut that one out. And I'm going to do the same. See, that's why I said it didn't matter. Now, if you look at this one, you can really see it, how it has that little bump. And I'm cutting that bump off. Cutting closest to that edge to cut it off. And again, if you need to burnish this down, you can, so that you can see the score line, or flip it over, and it kind of makes it easier to see. And same here, if you have that, see that bump, I'm going to cut it off. Cut closest to that. Okay, so that's all we need for that. You can throw those little pieces away. Alright, so we're going to lay this down, and I lay mine with my bumps facing me. It doesn't matter which way. Okay, now we're going to take the 2 edges, the shorter edges, we're going to fold them in. You're just going to concertina fold this, or fan fold this, or mountain and valley fold this. So you're going to go to the inside, on the next score line. I'm going to bend it out. Same with this one. And you can burnish those with your bone folder, or butter knife, or whatever you're using, the edge of your scissors. And then the last one I'm going to fold in. Okay. So if you're looking at it, it should look like that. It should have, looks like an M kind of on the side. You're going to do the same thing to the bottom. Go that score line closest to the paper. Fold it in, fold it out, fold it in. Now you're going to need a pencil or some type of marking tool. And with that bottom one, fold it in. Fold this one in. Fold this one in. And now you're going to see, you know, a corner here and a corner here. And you're just going to draw a line. It doesn't have to be straight, just a line. And do the same thing on the other side. And that corner here, the outside. Now leaving that all folded, you know, but flat on that very last score line, you're just going to take your scissors and cut that line that you drew. Same on this one. I'm folding it all the way down and just opening it flat. Snipping that one off. Now I'm going to bring them back in, fold that bottom up, bring them two sides back in, and I'm just going to trace what I cut to be on that bottom section. And, you know, folding it all the way up, but just opening it like one time so it's flat. You're going to do the same thing. You can move these ones inside out of your way. But you don't want to cut like way inside of here. You just want to, if you look inside, you're cutting pretty much just that tip, that corner off. So we're on this side now, and I'm gonna snip that one off. Get those little pieces. So when you lay this down, this is gonna fold. They should lay, you know, side by side. If not, trim a little more. And this one needs a little more. Okay, I went ahead and trimmed mine off, and mine's all laying flat. So I'm going to set that aside. Now, that piece that I told you to set off to the side that we trimmed off of there, we're going to grab that. And we're going to grab our paper trimmer. And I like to just take mine and just double check. And you're just going to lay that piece. Now this gets a little tricky because you get all these wanting to pop up. And it should fit pretty perfect top to bottom. And you just got to trim off the one side. So I just make it flush. And just kind of... Now I need to cut to the edge of there, and it should be about 5.5. Yep, spot on. 5.5. And that's the front. And then you have this left, and you can hold on to this or throw it away, but you can hold on to it. And boy, you can make a tag out of this to put on there if you needed a tag. You could just fold it and maybe make a little card tag or something, or whatever you want to do with that. You could make a tag out of it. I'll show you how. Okay, so now you're going to need some paper, some designer's paper, and this part here, it's up to you how you want to cover it. You can either cover it from, you know, all the way from the top to the bottom. Since it's a pocket and they'll see inside, you can. But even though, you know, it might be thrown away, you could just go down. I would go maybe halfway down, and you could just cover in halfway, because when you get your front on, you're not going to see it anyhow. And it saves on some paper. So, I'm gonna cut mine 5 1/4. A little weight edge on mine when I print. Sometimes I don't get it completely cut off. So we should be cutting, since this is 5 1/2, we should be cutting at 5 1/4. I'm going this way. Or if you don't even want to measure, just lay your paper in there and leave yourself maybe like a 1/8 of an inch border, and then just come in here and mark it like that, and you can cut it that way. I would be cutting mine this way first to save paper. So I'm only gonna go halfway on this one, which that measures about 3 3/4. And then by 5 1/4, which my thing hits right about there, and it drives me nuts. So I always have to get my scoreboard out and use it. And while we're standing here cutting designer's paper, you can cut your whatever you want to use for your front here. So it's going to be 5 1/4 by, let me, give you a measurement here. By this, about this, like 3, about 3 1/2. About 5 1/4. This should go in here. And my 3 1/2, I could trim that down a little bit. 3 1/2 is just about a bit too much. I'm gonna go back to 1/8 of an inch. That's better. So sometimes you just gotta do trial and error and just kind of figure it out. Release my pencil marks. And now it's just a matter of gluing. Now if you're using your edge punch, you know, corner rounder, whatever you did, and do the same to your designer series paper. Leaving that little border. And then gets just a little bit tricky, but it's doable. Burnish that down a little bit more. So these need to all go to the inside and lay flat. Just like that. Okay. I'm going to go in here and really burnish those down. Now you can put your glue on this part, or you can put your glue on, you know, 3 sides here. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to go ahead and rub my glue here. But don't put a whole lot of glue because you don't want it oozing into the inside and then gluing your little pocket shut. Just like that. I like to do mine upside down. It's just like, it doesn't matter which way you put it on. You just kind of got to hold those down a second and get that. I just like to start on a corner and get it evened up as best as I can. Rub this edge up here. And sometimes they want to sneak out. Just get it lined up and then burnish that down. Nice little pencil mark there. Get rid of that, and that's it. That is your hot cocoa pocket, or hot cider, or whatever you want to put in it. You can put anything in them. It doesn't have to be food related. And then that's it. And you can decorate these up, down as much as you want. It doesn't matter. Have a silhouette or a little snowflake. Put that on there. We still have our little handmade bows. You can put one of those on. That'd be pretty. Rosettes. If you have some rosettes, you can maybe just put one of those on. All kinds of ways to decorate it up. So, however your little heart desires, you can decorate. Now if you wanted to make a tag, you have that little tiny leftover piece. And I usually measure mine about 2 inches wide, 3 inches long. So let's go 2 inches. And then this is just leftover here. And about 3 inches. And if you wanted to put some decorative paper on there, I just kind of go 2, and then I have little notches on my board, and I just go back 1. And I just check to see how it fits first. If you want a bigger border showing, cut more off. Trim that up just a little bit at the bottom. A little bit more. And then what I like to do with mine is, if I have my ruler, it's just usually on this kind, like I'll just measure a 1/2 inch in and make a mark. Go on the other side, do a 1/2 inch, make a little mark, and then lay my ruler this way and do the same thing. Just measure down a 1/2 inch from the top. And same thing. And then just pencil mark the pencil. If you want to draw a line, you can. If you want to use your ruler and a craft knife, you can. I just, yeah, just go like this first. And that's your little tag. Oh, mine's not very. It's not very even. I don't have my glasses on this morning either. So. But you get the idea. Something like that. And then this I just lay in here side to side. Make sure my sides match up. And I take it all the way to the top. The most important part is make sure your side to side is where you want it. And bring that up. Bring your designer series paper up flush with your tag, and then I flip mine over and follow that line. And then when you go to fit that in, it should fit pretty perfect. Just like that. And you can glue this down. Just like so. And that's not the best tag, not my best tag in the world. And then I just use a standard size hole punch, or if you have the, little hole punch, it doesn't matter. Just eyeball it, center. Put yourself a little hole in there. You could write to and from on the back or whatever. And you can pop this on there if you wanted to. I had to do it on a different color. Or you could put it up here and put to and from. Attach some string to it and either glue it on, or you could use a brad. You put a brad in there if you wanted to hold it on. But that is your cocoa. And I've got like 2 packs of cocoa in here. And then you can put whatever you want. Like I said, I'm going to link you to Miss Deanna's channel where she fills hers. Well, I'll link both, where she makes hers and she fills hers. Because she puts a cookie, a gingerbread cookie and whatnot in hers, and all kinds of little pretties in it. I just wanted to give you this basic idea, and then you can go over and watch her decorate it, or decorate it yourself. Put in there what you want. You put a little snack cake in there, or maybe a little pack of cookies or something. So, alright guys, that is it. That is the hot cocoa packet. No machine, no cutting machine, and no dies. If you're liking this little, I don't know, not call it a series, but if you're kind of like this kind of type of crafting, let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And subscribe to my channel. If you're new to my channel, welcome. And I hope you will subscribe and stick around. If you've been with me for a while, I thank you so much for subscribing to my channel and hanging with me. I appreciate you all so much. And if you have left my channel, well, you're the one missing out, and I'm sorry to see you go. But maybe come back, give me another try. I know I don't post a whole lot of videos. I try to more during like holiday seasons and things to bring you ideas, because a lot of times everything's already been done, and I just feel like I'm re-greasing the wheel, remaking the wheel. So, it's kind of silly for me to post on my channel what's out on YouTube 15,000 times, and so, But I hadn't seen one of these anywhere except for the dies and cutting machines. So I just kind of went off of that and merged it together and did this myself. Now, this should fit in a 6x6 cellophane bag. I've got some on order coming in to see, and hope that they fit in there. So I'll try to remember and update you on that. I forget. I forget what the name of the place is. When the bags come in, I'll show you what they look like, and we'll put one in a bag or whatever. Okay? Alright guys, take care. Stay safe out there. And remember, I love each and every one of you. And I will see you in the next one. I'm not sure what we're going to do, but I've got a couple more tutorials up my sleeve, so I'll see you then. Alright, friends. Bye-bye.